Okay, probably hear the water running. As I take a bath, which is, as a targeted individual, the most uncomfortable time. You're, depending on the perpetrators, which mind uses time to sexually assault, the times that I am not dressed or undressing, the times that I'm taking a bath or shower, I'm sexually assaulted, also humiliated during these times. There is one in my targeting who defines himself as Marcus. He comes across more like Middle Eastern. He kind of looks like he's from Africa. Pretty dark skinned. But he assaults me quite frequently. And the assaults are done through the hive mind virtual technology, where I'm raped, trafficked to other handlers, to other perpetrators. My assaults are pretty severe. Because when they don't get what they want, they definitely turn up the attacks and talk to me in a passive way because they are males and I'm a female. They grab on my breasts, grab me in other places. They do this all via hive mind, so it actually feels like it's being done to you physically. It's the same sensation as in the physical world. I can reach out and touch them at any time. I can grab them at any time. They can grab me. There's no way to protect yourself. There's no shielding. They have full control over the technology. I've had one individual who looked Middle Eastern come up from behind me, grab on my waist, and was rubbing basically dry humping me from behind. And I could feel his arrogant ego displaying it. Like he had full control and I had zero. And he started to lick my face and bit my right cheek. The one who defines himself as Marcus sticks his fingers in my vagina quite often throughout the day, which is really embarrassing because of my targeting and the weapons they use against me, my pH balance is really thrown off. So now I suffer from a lot of yeast infections. And he makes fun of this. And inserts his fingers inside me. And it gets worse than that, and because it's so embarrassingly evil, I cannot speak about it. My menstrual cycles are also put on display. When I'm cramping, they use the technology to attack my ovaries and make the cramps even worse. The one who's over all the technology is kind of a heavy-set male and defines himself as the general. And he seems to be the one who's really over the technology. The sexual assaults are mostly done by the individual who calls himself Marcus. However, they have put me on display in certain times of the day where I've seen that other males are also involved in the sexual assaults. They remotely viewed me urinating and put me on display as if it was a show in the broadcasting, and several males tried to sexually assault me while I was urinating. While on my menstrual cycle, it's like satanic ritual abuse. The one who called himself Marcus will sexually assault me while I'm on my menstrual cycle, and kind of makes it like a joke, where he'll jab me while penetrating me while having a cramp. I've had this individual and other men who look Middle Eastern, when angry at me, grab at my breast and dig their nails into my skin. Now, what do I mean by all this? Well, connected to the hive mind, virtual technology, it gives you the same sensation as being in the physical. But because it's virtual, I think they program their own minds to believe that it's not the same as being done in the physical, so they don't really have a guilty conscience that's that bad. So the network hive mind on your brain is like it feels like a net that's on the top layer of your brain, and it gives you the same sensation as in the physical. I'm hit with, the only way I can describe is microwave radiation and what that feels like. It feels like a kind of thick-coated heat wave that goes right through you and can do cause a lot of pain. Not only pain, but hard for you to see, brain fog, hard for you to focus. You can't really see what's in front of you. So they've used this tactic on me during times where I was definitely in need of focus, such as working, driving. They use it a lot when I'm driving in the rain. So I have to spend extra time focusing and take extra caution while driving. When noises like that in the background are going on, they use a technique, what I call the aggravation frequency, and they can turn it into something like noise campaigning, where they can aggravate you by using a frequency so the sound seems like it's being amplified and aggravates the victim even more, which causes stress, de-stress, and wears the victim out and breaks them down. It's almost like you're wanting to crawl out of your skin, and it's almost like your consciousness is screaming to get out of the body when they hit you with that. So any kind of annoying sounds with the aggravation frequency seems 10 times, is putting it lightly, probably 20 times more aggravating than its actual sound, which causes a lot of damage, I think, probably on the nervous system. They do a lot of attacks on the nervous system. And the reason for this is to cause the victim to go into fight or flight for poor decision making. And this is something that I experience quite often, where I'll just do stupid stuff like leave for Florida because I'm running away from the technology. And when it's all said and done, when I come back, my money's gone, and I'm left with all these financial problems that I didn't take care of because I was being irrational with my money spending and trying to run away. There's no running from this. There's nowhere to go. There's no shielding. I've tried every shielding that you could possibly think of, and there's just no way to shield yourself from this. They can amplify the feelings of being cold and hot. I've woken up in the middle of the night with a puddle of sweat on my back. I'm very petite. I'm not a sweater. Constant survival mode. This situation makes your relationships really difficult because your mind is telling you and seeking for protection. So if you're in a relationship and you have a significant other and they're not willing to understand because of the situation, sounds so far-fetched and probably just sci-fi. You feel betrayed. So you tend to look at your significant other as being more cowardly than a partner at this point. Yeah. So it definitely destroys relationships. It causes for the partner to just really be concerned with the victim's mental health, because this kind of thing is so unheard of. The victim is usually discredited. So unfortunately, they're thrown into the medical field. So the truth of their attacks and targeting is totally discredited. Because of just so many reasons, I can't even really sum it all up into one, but it has a lot to do with fight or flight. And that is one of their famous tactics to cause the victim to go into panic mode. The beginning stages are pretty crucial to individual, what I call the confusion stage. When you're being hit with weapons and all of a sudden you start hearing radio broadcasts of, V2K, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I went from being 100% normal to all of a sudden I'm hearing aliens or, whatever they choose to act like, depending on the severity of whatever list they put you on, the reason for their targeting, and level. It really also depends on who exactly is targeting you. If they feel you're a major severe threat, they'll have quite a bunch of characters they put together. Because you have to keep in mind, this is a $1 trillion industry, and yes, it is a business. What criminal wouldn't want to get away with being basically invisible to raping anybody and going into their lives and homes or dreams and daydreams without getting caught? It's a $1 trillion industry, and a lot of people are not aware of this because they're not even familiar with this technology. You're basically, I can speak for myself, but I think when I say this, I speak for all target individuals. You are basically a convenience for a predator. Because your body is basically in this hive mind, and you're basically a convenience for these perpetrators at any time to use and abuse you at their convenience. They could literally be just sitting in their homes or at work and bored out of their minds and want to just start sexually assaulting you. They can also put a victim under hypnosis during a dream and waken state. Is how they do it. They bring the victim to a certain point when they're waking up or just falling asleep, and keep them and carry that frequency and drag it out to hold them there to perform sexual assaults. And that's pretty much it. That's just putting a dent in thing in what I actually know and what I have to experience. So I hope that helps not only the TI community, but outside of the community, to anybody who wants to know what TIs are talking about exactly. The next time a TI reaches out to you and asks for help, what they're really asking is just an ear to listen and for a hug and some security to tell them that they're going to be okay and that they are okay and they're safe in your arms. They just want you to believe them. They don't want you to turn your cheek and back on them and throw them to the medical field because you haven't done your research on this technology that really is real and does exist. That's the worst thing you can do. So the next time a TI reaches out to you and says, hey, I need your help, what they're really asking is for an ear and just a hug. So I hope that helps you guys. I love you. Stay strong on your battlefield and don't give up.